go of masculine energy and transform into a feminine goddess. Hello, my name is Chengi, and you, my precious one, are and forever will be my world. I am your dating and relationship expert, founder and CEO of Black Swan Relationship Academy, course creator, co-course creator, and just all things that you need me to be for your love life to work. And I'm here to train women who are ready to emerge as high value feminine, who are looking to be found and won over and treasured by high value masculine men. If this is your juice, if this is what you're after, and you want to know how to get you a great masculine man, then this is your channel, and keep tuned, because we're going to be really exploring and delving deep into how to let go of masculine energy. Of course, I am looking forward to seeing you all at the Nice Girl Rehab Masterclass. Yes. So I'm going to be teaching you ladies how to really understand the difference between showing up as a high value feminine woman, being receptive, available, passive, patient, respecting, kind, which are all high value behavior, as opposed to being nice. And is it a bad thing to be nice? No, it's not. Niceness is a social cue. We all have to be nice. But where does nice end and doormat begin? And often nice girls always end up as doormats, the last to be considered and the first to be sacrificed. So how can we show up as high value and be nice and still show up as the woman that men die for, just want to be with, and always not betray ourselves? How do we set those boundaries and those standards? So I'm looking forward to seeing you. It's a free masterclass. The link is in the description below. If it is not in the description below, please forgive us. My team and I will get it into the link below. It will be on the YouTube community, it will be on Instagram, it will be on Facebook. So follow me on Instagram at Black Swan Relationship Academy. The announcement will go up with the link. I will also put it in the stories in YouTube. You will be able to access it. Some of you have already been emailing to ask, and we've put your names to the side, so I know you're excited, and you will get the link, I promise. If you go on my website and join the newsletter, you will also get the link via the newsletter. But I look forward to helping you ladies truly emerge as the black swans that I know you are. So let us go into today's topic. I want to really have a conversation with you, my precious swans, today. And the conversation is along the lines of the fact that masculine energy is not something that you, my precious one, are born with. We as feminine women, as females, women, we are born with core feminine energy. You are born at the very core of yourself with feminine energy. You are born passive, patient, you're born respecting, all of these things that we identify as feminine energy. You're born with an inherent sense of value. You are born with, I want you to consider yourself as a baby. A baby that comes out of the womb does not come out of the womb with insecurities, unless of course it received energy from mother that may have contaminated its energy in a way. But for the most part, babies don't come out of the womb thinking, I'm not beautiful, I am not worthy of a king, I'm not good enough, I have to chase things, I have to pursue things, and neither do men, really. We're born whole, we're born complete with zero, a blank page. And so everything that we learn as we are raised and the experiences that we go through determine whether we abandon our natural state of being, our core being, and journey into a place where we're going to feel safe. And this is a childhood adaptation, especially around trauma. Now, I just want to make it clear that trauma is not, this big thing that happens to you. It's not necessarily the fact that you were raped or not. It doesn't matter how gruesome or not so gruesome. Trauma is often the thing that an unmet need or something that we were supposed to receive that we didn't, or something that we receive that we shouldn't have, and how our child brain adapts to it. It doesn't yet have the intelligence, the foresight, the ability to think rationally and make sense of it. Often it is just creates a super ego. It creates this other adaptation to help us cope and manage with whatever trauma situation we're having, whether it's, you know, neglect, or whether it's abandonment, or whether it's, you know, abuse. The child is really not able to say, my parent, my caregiver is an evil human being. They're not capable of even thinking that way. So what we do is create narratives around, this is life is violent, life abandons us, relationships abandon us, we're never safe. And so we have to create a coping mechanism that we often take all the way through life. And for us as women, when we are exposed, when we are growing up in the absence of a father, now this is where the male in our lives, the masculine in our lives, gives us the feeling of safety, protection, and provision. As feminine women, and as women, we desperately need to feel safe. This is a protocol that is particularly important. Men want to feel safe too, but not as much as us as women. It is in our makeup, it's our biology. We need to feel safe. And safety is given to a young girl when she's still a baby. She learns to be safe by having the dad, having that masculine energy male who keeps her safe. Now, in the absence of that masculine energy male, often she's being raised with a masculine energy woman who is trying to play both roles, which then programs the baby's mind, or the toddler's mind, or the young child's mind, that being masculine is being a woman, because she's seeing her mother who is in masculine energy. Or if mother is feminine and fragile and doesn't quite know how to manage things, then what the child will do is lean into her masculine energy and sit in that energy in order to protect herself and to protect mother. Now, I've had a lot of clients who come to me who have played mom to mom, because maybe mom was sick, or mom wasn't very well, or mom was a little bit feeble, mom wasn't coping very well. And so for the child to feel safe, we then had to lean into our protective mechanism, our inner masculine energy that we have for other reasons. But at this point, we're using masculine energy to create a sense of safety around us. And so we grow up not only with a psychological image and what I call a blueprint or a love story that we took from our childhood, like little snapshots. We grow up with this behavior, this adaptation, this behavior, this way of thinking, this neurological pathway that ultimately manifests itself as masculine behavior in the woman. Then we don't understand why we put off masculine men, or why we end up failing and losing in the game of love. But we also have a hard time walking in feminine energy. We also have a really hard time embracing the ability to rest, to sit back and not always run things, and not always work our butts off, and not always be the one with all the answers, not always be the one that fixes everybody. We basically struggle. We struggle with the position of being passive, patient, and vulnerable. Vulnerability being the hardest thing, and the hallmark of femininity as a whole. Now, this video is not about vulnerability. Perhaps we will do another one, and I think I've already done a video on this channel about why the feminine woman understands her need to be vulnerable. But at this point, we're really showing up angry, we're showing up entitled, we're showing up, some of us, with aggression, depending on who we had to fight in order to win, who we had to battle. Some of us have had to battle predators, maybe men, maybe women who are abusive, and we knew and learned very early on that we don't have a protector, we don't have anybody to watch over us, so we're gonna have to fight. And some of us have a resting bitch face, and some of us have a resting angry face, and some of us have created a persona and an alter ego that is very, very masculine energy. It's not because you're a bad person. It is because there is trauma that you haven't handled. And so when I'm dealing with my clients and I'm taking you through the Soulmate Attraction System course, and I really want to say this to you ladies, this is not a sales pitch. I am not trying to sell you anything. I am just letting you know that I've created this particular course to help with this issue. I'm not one of these people that like to create issues and then create a course. It's because this perpetually comes into my practice. And I can teach you, and you can watch all of the videos on this channel about femininity. But unless and until you embody it, you are going to perpetually have a struggle. Because femininity is to be ultimately embodied. And the only way we can truly embody our feminine energy is to really work through some of this trauma. Is to accept first and foremost that we are traumatized. I do not believe for a second that there is a human being walking the planet that is not traumatized. What we have are people who have been traumatized and somehow worked their way out of that. They found somebody to talk to. The interesting thing about trauma is that if you had had somebody to talk to, if you had had somebody to reassure you, to hold you, and to co-regulate with you at that time, it stops being trauma and becomes an experience. So, for example, two girls, both molested by the same man in the same home. One of the girls goes to the teacher at school and shares what happens. Teacher holds her, says it's okay, we're gonna make it, takes her through counseling. The other sister keeps it to herself, feels unsafe. Who am I gonna tell? I've got no one to tell. And often predators will prey on children that they can see are neglected as it is. Not because the parents are evil, maybe the parents are busy or they're preoccupied, but basically the one that did not have anyone to talk to and has carried this becomes the one that is carrying trauma, whereas the other one is simply carrying an experience and a story that may very well be very painful and difficult, but it is a different response. And so to deal with trauma, we have to be willing and able to acknowledge that, yeah, I am traumatized. No, it doesn't have to have been a molestation. It may have just been two great parents. You would come home and nobody had time to ask you how your day was. Nobody cared to tell you how your day was. Or perhaps you had, a mother like mine who was going through a divorce with 7 children, having a hard time, and would take it out on me because maybe I looked like my dad, or I was, the closest daughter to my dad, or whatever the situation is. And at that time, she wasn't coping with her issues and she dumped them on me without even knowing she was doing it. And now you feel like you're not worth it, like you don't deserve love, or that you are not exactly what you think you ought to be. Now, we have maybe a critical parent, maybe even a narcissistic parent who made you're happy, who turned you into a codependent. You had to make them happy so you could have a piece of happiness. It could be anything. It could be a teacher in school that bullied you and made your time in school. I know about this. There was a boy in class who the teacher would beat him every day. This is in Africa, by the way, and many years ago, so we're not talking about the modern world, but every day he would come in and have a beating. I'm sure the teacher was some sort of pervert looking back now, and it really just can be anything. So don't feel like, well, I had a privileged life and I grew up okay and I had a nice life, so why would I don't have trauma. It can be anything that and just you not having had anyone to process with. And so you can then do the Soulmate Attraction System course as a self-study, where you can just work through some things and look at some of your patterns and really do some reflecting and thinking. You can do that by yourself. I've created it to be a self-study. You can hire a therapist, you can go for counseling. There's so many people within the mental and emotional health world that you need to invest in. But what you cannot do is think to yourself, I am going to become a feminine woman, or make a call with any of my coaches, forgot to mention that, or myself, and let's work through some of these wounds. We are not therapists, but I have created this course and it is taking women and changing lives all over the world. So I'm, as a coach, my emphasis is results. End of story. So if you want results and you want to embody feminine energy, and you want to work through some things, of course, call my coaches, call myself, go to a therapist, do whatever works, whatever modality works for you. But understand that you cannot blossom into a feminine goddess if you still have wounds, okay? Wounds are not things that we can just brush over. I had a lady who said to me, I've done all of this femininity work, I follow all femininity gurus and blah, 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 blah. But when I started to observe how she was moving in the dating world, she was still moving like the masculine. She was still behaving like the masculine. Why? Because it has to be an inside job. We have to begin to heal. We have to begin to get our life in order. We have to begin to put certain mechanisms in place so that we can meet our safety protocols at least halfway. And that is the first point that I want you to take away from this video, because I want you to walk away with some tools. What are the issues in your life that are making you feel unsafe emotionally, spiritually, physically, materially? Okay, are you feeling unsafe right now because you're not earning enough, you're not making the bills? That's your financial, material issues. How can you make yourself feel safer? Spiritually, are you in a good spiritual environment? Are you growing spiritually? Have you got good spiritual caretakers? Are you doing everything you can to be strong spiritually? Physically, is your body strong? Yes, ladies, we don't have to be as strong as men, but when you are doing some good fitness training and you're building your body up, you will naturally feel stronger. Lifting weights and being able to lift a heavier weight than you were able to do before gives you an inner psychological feeling of being strong. And often as women, we don't always feel strong. So we want to start to meet that need physically by eating well and having good and healthy habits and working out and doing some weight training, even if it's just for your psyche. So these are some of the ways that you can feel safe. And also, what protocols can we run? And this is something that you can learn in Black Swan Nation, which is our group coaching session with all the coaches in there. You can learn here on this. The protocols that you need to follow as you date that create a sense of safety and security. And often we don't have those protocols, and often we don't have those processes, but this is what I create for you. And you can go to the academy and learn every single thing in depth and in detail. Do not be afraid to visit blackswanrelationshipacademy.com and enroll in the courses, because you will get the tools you need to master attraction, the tools you need for feminine mastery, the tools of dating and understanding the space are going to give you a sense of safety. You're not going to feel like you're out there, kind of risking it all, right? Once you cover those areas of your life, spirit, soul, body, and you put certain of these protocols that I'm giving you in place, what is going to happen is you're going to start to feel safer. The moment you feel safer, then your subconscious mind comes out of survival mode. Because when we're manifesting masculine, it is because we are firing out survival protocols where our brain is in constant survival mode. And we know that when we're in survival mode, we either fight or flight, right? Those are the two responses when we're in survival mode. And staying in persistent survival mode is in staying persistently in masculine energy. And what is your body going to do? It's going to create a lot of adrenaline and a lot of cortisol. The cortisol is that stress hormone, and the more stressed you are, the more your fight or flight response is high, the more you're likely to fight, the more you're likely to be rude, the more you're likely to not be playful, the more you're not likely to be happy, the more you're not likely to come across soft and feminine. Okay, so we need to follow these simple protocols. Of course, there's more to it. Let's dig down, uproot the pain, deal with the trauma. But for those of you who are not capable of doing that right now, or not willing or ready to do it right now, these are really important things. Draw, what are my protocols for me to feel safe spiritually? What are my protocols for me to feel safe physically? And what are my protocols to feel safe in my body, in my mind, and in my spirit? What can I invest in? Because safety is the one thing that a woman needs to embody feminine energy, for that feminine energy that you were born with to begin to sort of find life. And then you will find your femininity. Femininity is not one way. Femininity manifests in many different ways. So as you can watch the video on the feminine archetypes and figure out which one you are. And it's really important with those archetypes for you to be able to be all four types of feminine, but you can only explore that sexual, sensual side of you, the playful wallflower side of you, when you are not fighting anymore, when you are sitting in your energy, when you're rested in your energy. And it's so important, ladies, that if we are going to manifest as high value and feminine and blossom into our feminine energy, if we're truly going to put aside this masculine energy, we will not do it by tricks and tips and hacks and new wardrobe and new this. All of these things can help us to hold up what, feminine energy, dressing better, doing different, more feminine activities that can definitely help. But at the end of the day, you're going to struggle to embody it. And the masculine energy man is highly intuitive, and he will be able to pick up if this is already your essence. What we want is to flow in feminine essence. What we want is to be free to be ourselves. We want to be free to be at rest, because when you are healed, you function better. I want you to consider what the body is like, the physical body. When you're not well, you limp, or you don't walk quite right, and everything's a bit difficult. And even if somebody was to pay you $1 million and you broke your leg, you still wouldn't be able to walk as beautifully as you would like to. Even if you read every book on how to walk before kings and queens, it still won't help you because you have a broken leg. And so it's the same thing emotionally. When you are carrying trauma, when you are carrying pain, when you are carrying unresolved issues in your heart, you are not going to be able to really show up as your feminine goddess self. And I want you to be able to do that. And there's no point in me giving you 10 steps to being feminine in this video without addressing the cause. The root cause of any masculine behavior is unaddressed trauma. It is sometimes not even your trauma. Many of us are carrying our ancestral trauma. We're carrying the trauma of our grandmother, our mother, our great-grandmother, who taught us, and we inherited that energy from them, and they gave us protocols that were in that vein. But we want to break generational curses. We want it to end with us. We want to raise high value feminine women that are loved and cherished and protected and provided for, and who are smart and wise and know how to select high value men instead of just giving themselves out to any clown with a crown. Thank you, R.C. Blakes. But you see, we need to do the work. I have created the Soulmate Attraction System course to help you do the work. The rest is up to you. I want to hear from you. My coaches want to hear from you. We are here to help you. We are here to reach 1 billion women. What you can do for me is to like this video if it has been of any use to you, so that we can let the algorithm know that this is a video that is worth watching. But I would also love for you to share it with all of your friends and let them know that this is not about judgment. This is truly about embodying our feminine energy. And when we are in feminine energy, we don't just attract high value masculine men. We begin to attract money into our lives. We begin to attract the right friendships into our life. We are like this beautiful garden that begins to grow, and flowers and leaves come off this tree, and life becomes less effortful. We're truly able to give because we're in perpetual attraction mode. We are attracting the things that we crave and desire. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. My coaches look forward to seeing you on their videos. They're working very hard behind the scenes to make sure that we are bringing content to you, ladies who are married, ladies who are going through divorces, ladies who are on digital dating. I have a coach for every single day who's going to be bringing particular expertise in their area of training. And these are coaches that I train regularly. We train twice a week. They're putting in the work. It's as good as having a conversation with me. So do show up for the YouTube videos that will be coming up in the month of October and November. And if you're enjoying them, they will continue. And the Black Swan Relationship Academy will be the place where I bring you the very best coaches. We actually have one male coach. I'm really excited because he will bring great insight to the conversation. And I am really looking forward to seeing you on the free Nice Girl Rehab. In the meantime, my precious, beautiful angel, do take care of you. Love you lots. Bye-bye now.